Tristan and Isolde is one of my favourite medieval literature stories of all time, although I slightly like Diarmid and Grania a little bit more. The story is set in the 6th century, just after the fall of the Roman Empire, and the King of Cornwall is in his hall and he's bitching about the Irish constantly going into his land and stealing all of his women. When suddenly he hears that the High King of Ireland, the Ian, are holding a huge assembly, and at the assembly they're going to hold an even bigger tournament. And he thinks to himself, wouldn't it be great now if he could send his best noble warrior to that official tournament and have him win and beat all of the Fenian warriors? And so that's what he does. And so he sends Tristan over, and lo and behold, Tristan ends up winning the entire tournament. That's where he sees Isolde for the very first time. And so when he eventually makes his way back to Cornwall, not only does he have any good news that he's beaten all of the great Fenian warriors at the great tournament at the assembly, but he's also seen one of the most beautiful Irish princesses he's ever laid his eyes on. And so eventually, the King of Cornwall, he's thinking to himself, God, I wouldn't mind a new wife. So he sends Tristan back over to negotiate terms to a marriage. However, on the way back with Isolde thinks it's a great idea to get Tristan drunk on a little bit of mead. And then, once he's a little bit tipsy, she takes full advantage of him. And Tristan ends up falling fully in love. Which is not good news for Tristan, since Isolde is meant to be marrying the King of Cornwall. And so she does. She marries the King of Cornwall, and as her protector and bodyguard to both the King of Cornwall and the new Princess of Cornwall, things are a bit awkward. So eventually Tristan leaves the court and starts wandering around Britain. Eventually he makes his way over to Brittany. You know, the one over in France, not the one in Britain itself. Regardless, he ends up finding a nice noblewoman and they settle down. Except for the noblewoman eventually finds out that Tristan doesn't really love her, and she's very jealous about that. However, one day on the battlefield, Tristan ends up getting seriously injured, and because doctors weren't amazing back then, he ends up getting very sick. The only person that could cure him was Isolde, so Isolde starts coming over, and just as Isolde's coming over, Tristan's wife finds out. So Tristan's wife tells Tristan that she's died, so he ends up stop fighting the illness and he dies. So when Isolde comes in, she's heartbroken and it collapses on top of him, and that's the end of the story. I'll just let you edit this just for you.